First I took lemon yellow with enough water. Then I started adding crimson red color, just tinge of the red, and trying to mix with the previous color lemon yellow when it is still wet. This is called wet on wet technique. That means we are applying a wet color on the previous wet color, so that those two colors will merge very nicely. Now I prepared little bit brown. Brown we can mix with crimson red and little bit yellow, then add little blue. I am using only three colors. One is lemon yellow, and then crimson red, and then Prussian blue. Prussian blue is the darkest blue. So now I am trying to add crimson red here and there to create warm effect. But we have to take the color very carefully, very lightly. And then again go with the brown. So these three colors only we mix however we want. Then I am trying to mix with wet brush, only wet brush. Sometimes we need to run wet brush beside the new color so that those will spread very nicely to create like gloomy effect. So I am using brown and crimson red. Here and there just I am trying to fix the colors. Now I am adding crimson red directly. Then I started adding little bit blue in the brown so that the shadows will become little bit bluish. If the shadow is little bit bluish, then it looks nice. Most of the shadows will be having blues. So we can add little blue in that. Then I add little bit lemon yellow when it is still wet, so that those two mix very nicely. So I am creating middle tones with lemon yellow and blue, like light bluish green. We need to experiment with these three colors however we want, but we have to experiment with little bit care. Then I am adding little bit blue in the crimson red so that it become little bit darker. This is for dark tones, shadow tones. Now I started adding lemon yellow with little water. little water we can add into that, so that the other colors which are coming will mix into this very nicely. Slowly we can add little blue colors as a shadow. Usually blues and little bit bluish greens are useful for shadows. And spread the edges with wet brush. When it is still wet, we can add little bit dark purple for shadows, dark shadows, and when we can mix with just wet brush. When it is still wet, if we mix like that, those will mix very nicely and create like shadow effect. I am just making the edges little bit smooth by using wet brush. And I am trying to create those pomegranate seeds. So I am keeping direct crimson red color as a seeds. I am directly not painting exactly how it is. I am trying to keep like an illusion, like an impression of the work, not exactly painting every pomegranate seed. At the same time, I am keeping little bit dark tones by keeping little blue in the crimson red and just adding wherever the shadow of the pomegranate is there. And we need to follow the light and shade also. Here light is coming from the right side, so we need to follow that also. And just I am spreading it with wet brush, diluting the color around that to create like shadows of the pomegranate. Some of the seeds are at the down, so I am trying to create those effects. I am using little bit to like wet brush. And spreading with the water to create the shadow and an illusion of like merging into the surroundings. It's all like how we see. How we see, in that way we have to paint. How our eyes are perceiving the things, in such a way we can paint them. And use less water. Enough water we have to use, and enough pigment also we have to take. Not much, not less. it's like creating an illusion, not like exactly painting every detail. Creating an impression. Wherever the shadow is there, I am adding little bit blue color in that purple. And that blue also will be very nice, like blue, like purplish blue will be very nice, suitable to that area. And not only that, around that there is more white space. I want to cover that white space with little bit light colors, not with the dark, because enough darkness is there already in the pomegranate. So the around the place we have to create an illusion of light background, which will reduce the empty white space and balance with the main object, that is pomegranate. Thank you very much for watching, and try to practice with small things in this way. This is just bookmark, small bookmark. On that bookmark I try to do this one. In that way you can also experiment with small things on the small bookmark, so that you will get understanding or perceiving the things in the right way.